Yo, what's going on? This is the youngest in charge, Leon Slater, and you're listening to the Sports Jedi Network. You get me?
You're watching Jedi Sports Network with Kev.
I'm Tom Hannafin from TNA Wrestling. You're watching the Jedi Sports Network.
Tune in to Heel of the Ring podcast on the Sports Jedi Network channel. May the sports be with you.
What's up, Kevin? It's me, Miles Bourne. I just wanted to come on here real quick and say thank you for your support. I really appreciate it, and the fact that you're there every Tuesday really means a lot to me.
Hey guys, this is Elena Black, and you are watching Sports Jedi Network.
This is AJ Francis, and you're with Sports Jedi Network.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sports Jedi Network media channel. It is night one of the summer's big event. WWE Summerslam is in the books, and we are ready to break it down, recap it, post-show live here on the Sports Jedi Media Network or on the Sports Jedi channels on all the different platforms, whether it's Rumba, Twitch, Instagram, Live, Kick, Rumba, all the different platforms. Buenas noches, todo el mundo. Hope everyone's doing well. I make sure we get everybody on the Instagram family in, and they're not in. They're going to be in now. And I am not alone, of course. I am with the other half of the Dynamite Bros and part of the Sports Jedi's on a weekly wrestling, the one and only hard-hitting Knuckle Brew with the hard-hitting facts. What's up?
How we doing, everybody? Did we enjoy SummerSlam? I did. I hope you did. We're going to talk about it real fun. We're going to have some hard-hitting truths, like Kev likes to say. And I want to know how y'all are thinking about it. Put it in the comments. Let's have some fun. They said this is the biggest party of the summer. Let's show them how we do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am ready to speak about this. I'm ready to break everything down from nuts and bolts. Don't forget, but we have to shout out our sponsors that made this program possible. Dude Wipes. Dude Wipes and the Sports Jedi Network. We're wiping out the competition. Also, G Fuel Energy. Fuel your soul. Fuel your stream. Go to gfuelenergy.com. Use promo code PGHCHRIS and save 20% off your orders. And Blackout Coffee. Wake up, stand up, never back down. Blackout Coffee. Make sure you get your promo code SportsJedi20 and save on your Morning Reaper or the 1776 roast. All the different wonderful products that Blackout Energy has. Also, Devin and Lang for your undergarments, tensile modals, and more for yourself or your loved ones. Make sure you go to devinandlang.com, use promo code Courtney O'Shea and save 15% off on that order. We'll hear from those sponsors a little later. I'm ready to break in this situation, this card. I'm ready to go. I'm locked and loaded. And we'll start off with did you know who sang America the Beautiful, Haas?
Yes, it was one of our lovely McMahon Helmsleys or Levesque, whatever you want to say their names. There's a whole lot of names there. But yes, it was one of the daughters of Stephanie and Paul.
Yes. And why do you think I didn't like her performance, though. I mean, hey, it's cute, but I'm not going to be critiqued because that family gets a lot of negativity. It wasn't, you know what? It is what it was, Cross.
Kev, I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't even listen to it. I wouldn't got me something to eat doing this.
No, I did, and I raised my eyebrows like, who the hell's singing this? And then later on, I was like, man, there was a part that she was a little off key, but it could be nerves. So I'm not gonna be too critical. I'm with it. I mean, come on.
Truth be told, like nothing unpatriotic about it. When I watch sports events, I usually skip those things. Like I skipped the national anthem unless I'm there live. I can't, I'm sitting there, I'm standing, I don't skip that. But if I'm watching on television, I skip God Bless America and national anthem. I just do. That's time to go to the bathroom, go to get something to eat, whatever.
That's fair. A lot of people don't pay attention to too much either when they're at home, or a lot of times they don't even show it. Some of the live events don't show it, whether it's baseball or football to a degree, but not most of the time. Not all the time they show it, but it is what it is. Let's talk about the opening contest, man. It was your women's world title.
I got a question for you real quick, though.
Yes.
Will American Idol be calling her?
I say yes because of the nepotism.
All right. Let's get it. Let's get after it.
Let's go right into this, man. By the way, side note, grandma was sitting in the front row on the hard camera side, and she did not leave that show. She wanted to take it all in, pal. Linda McMahon.
This is what we built. I don't care what anyone says about my husband. This is what we built.
She was there all show. Because I first saw they didn't show her. They didn't really focus on her. You had to really because I saw that I'm like that looks like was that who I think it is? And then I wait in the beginning, and then they wait, and then there was a shot that it is her when they did the camera shot, the drone up high. Oh, it is her. And then she turned around and saw the face. I said, "It's Linda McMahon." Camera didn't go out of their way to show us her. But I digress. Let's go right into this one, Haas. Women's World Title, IYO SKY versus Liv Morgan. This was a 7-minute match actually between these two ladies. Back and forth around the 7-minute mark. Excuse me. This was a 13.5-minute mark around the 7-minute mark. I read my notes bad. This is when we had Roxanne and Raquel come out to interfere. I got to say this match really didn't need the plunder of the two ladies, even though they got taken out and they look like they died. They look like they got swallowed up on the earth because we never saw them again, even when the match was over. Best match for both ladies. For Liv Morgan, for all the slack and all the complaints that people had of her not only her first title defense since April, she put on a fucking good show. And IYO SKY is the best wrestler. They have good chemistry, Haas. What's your thought on the match? And did you like the right outcome where Liv Morgan retains her title?
Yes, this match was a banger. I enjoyed it very much. And I actually disagree with you. I enjoyed the plunder of Raquel and Roxanne because it really showed that we had a heel face dynamic. Because in most of these matches, we didn't really have that dynamic. And we've been what's the best way? I hate to use the word groomed because that's such a nasty word today, but that's the best way to use it. We've been groomed as wrestling fans that heels must cheat. So our heels, when they do cheat, we have to appreciate what they do. So it worked out. And think about it, IYO still looked strong in this. It wasn't like they just overpowered her with this heel heat. It was she fought them off best she could. No one else came out. And I will say this, she sold that oblivion like the rent was due. It was great. So, and the best thing coming out of this was Liv winning. It gives us hope that we're going to get good episodic television on Raw. Because with IYO, the best thing IYO could have given us was defending that title as often as possible. Because they've shown us when IYO holds their belt, they don't have any plans for her. They're like, okay, everybody loves IYO. She's going to look good with the belt. But IYO has to fight. Like, she just can't sit up there with presence like a Jade Cargill or Rhea Ripley just holding that belt. It's not the same presentation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because she's not going to talk to you. At least Jade, when she talks to you, I'm the baddest bitch. She walks around with that title. She's impressive. And Rhea, just her theme music and her coming out, the girls and the fans go bananas and ape shit. Only other than this, I don't, okay, that's going to get, there's nothing too much with IYO SKY. When I mean this, I mean putting her two hands on her head and shaking it like a anime character for those that listen to this on the audio platform. That's what I meant. And it doesn't really resonate. You need to talk, and IYO SKY is not known for, with her mouth speaking, wants you to open up and buy tickets.
And like, we'll never excuse not defending the title, but that is not on the wrestlers. That's on the booking. So I need people to start using their brains up here. Stop blaming the talent. They do not book themselves. If you want to blame someone, go to Paul Levesque, Michael Hayes, Bruce Pritchard, whoever's in their creative room. You go at them on X, at them on Twitter. Stop adding the talent. Leave them alone. They are doing what they are told. So stop going at Liv Morgan. Stop going at Jade Cargill. Any one of these talents, leave them alone. But yes, I'm happy with the outcome because I think with Liv winning, there's a lot more possibilities than with IYO being the champion. So yes, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I'm always also very satisfied with the victory. I love the finisher. I love how they got to the finisher, the second rope code breaker into the Oblivion, a nice combo set for the victory for Liv Morgan to beat IYO SKY. You know what? I appreciate at the end of the match, we didn't get Liv and Judgment Day beating up on IYO SKY. They kind of like, okay, they did this, they're gonna move on. They're not gonna rehash in Monday Night Raw, although who knows? But I have hope that on Monday Night Raw they're not going to rehash, or I need another shot, another match, and we get something there. I think this is done. I think they're done for now. Will they revisit it again? Haas, I wouldn't be opposed if they wrestle again, but I don't need it in the short term. Give me about let it marinate for after 6 weeks. If they happen to cross paths again, I have no issue. I don't need it right away.
I have an interesting take for this later on because it's gonna actually intersect with one of our matches here later. But I don't think IYO's done with the Judgment Day. I think she's gonna be in the vortex, like they say,
Okay.
LA Knights in the Bloodline vortex. I could see Liv going down to the see IYO going down to the International Championship realm. I can see her going with Raquel because they have chemistry. She might take that belt off Raquel in maybe at a Sunday night's main event, something like that. Because I don't see Raquel having a long title reign with this belt, but I'm glad that she has it. But you can have IYO down there and she can do open challenges with that belt. So I think that'd be very interesting.
That's why I said did I say 6 weeks? So give or take Sunday night's main event might be 6 weeks from here, or maybe it's about about 5 weeks for Sunday night's main event. So give or take if I see them, but if they, like you said, if they tell good storytelling, because now when they go to the Judgment Day clubhouse, Liv's got her title, Raquel has a title. They look at Roxy with no title. Right there, I'm gonna be honest with you, Haas. It makes Roxanne Perez the damn favorite to win Money in the Bank.
I'm right with you on that. I agree with you wholeheartedly because if you give Roxanne that, she can take that belt off Liv at a future date at any time, and that's what you need. That's what the women's division needs, especially on Raw, because they don't use all the women that's on that roster. The looming threat of Roxanne cashing in that briefcase on Liv in that clubhouse, man, makes for good.
I even take it further. If somehow Raquel, you say she's gonna have a short title reign, let's say Raquel for some crazy reason holds on that Intercontinental title and live with that world title, and Roxanne wins the Money in the Bank. Talk about a dissension in that group. None of the ladies will be at ease with one another because they are afraid that Roxanne could cash on any one of those.
Yes, that makes a whole lot of sense, and that's drama. That's the cinema you want on Monday night. So I like where you're going with that, Kev. I like that.
But it's still a ways away to go. So they really, but the way WWE has been nonchalant, not booking their champions to defend their title. I mean, look at it. Since April, Liv hasn't wrestled. I would be surprised if Raquel never defends that Intercontinental, just prolonging. So that could happen, Roxanne. But here or there, great match, good start, and the crowd was good. The crowd to start off was good. They weren't the hottest, great, because they could have been a more electric cost, but they still were good.
I will say this: Liv proved a lot of her doubters wrong today, because a lot of people have been saying, "Oh man, Liv can't wrestle like that. She's gonna be rusty. She's not a great champion." And she can go. Like, okay, she may not be the workhorse like you want people to be, but she from rope to rope, bell to bell, she can wrestle. So this was a good showing by her.
Great improvement from when she was part of the Riot Squad. Even her first run with Rhea Ripley when they were tag teams, much greater improvement. Even I could even say much better wrestler when she first cashed in and beat Ronda Rousey. She's a much better wrestler, Liv Morgan, in 2026 today than those timelines in her career. Great job there, and I got to give IYO SKY credit when she did the handstand off of the first Oblivion before it led to the code breaker from the top ropes into the Oblivion. I was like, whoa, I love the sequence. I love the ending sequence. Whoever was the producer on that match, good job there. It wasn't formulaic. It wasn't copy, rinse, and repeat. It was something different with just some of their moves from a different angle. I liked it. I liked their thinking. I liked the producers' breakdown on that match, and the ladies deliver. 13 and a half minutes, close to 14. It could give or take, my time with the stopwatch. Not bad. One thing that I did check, every ad commercial break were 7 minutes plus. 7 minutes. The main event was almost like 9 because they have to, but everything was 7 minutes between matches. The second match of the night, the 6-man tag. You had the Uso Fatu family affair taking on Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, and Royce Keys. I got to say this in the entrance. I love the mask that Jacob Fatu came out with.
Yes, the presentation was great. Like it was, when you play the Usos music, you can't do nothing but get hyped. And then when Fatu came out there, Fatu, and he came out with that mask, the juices were up. Like you couldn't help but just stand up with them. So they did what they needed to do with their presentation. Like, and then even with the little razzle dazzle, Jay like he was walking the werewolf and everything.
That was good. Presentation was fucking awesome.
They really laid into their presentation. That was a great look.
And only about a minute to 90 seconds of yeeting. They didn't overdo the yeet tonight when on the entrance.
I'm surprised. I think the thing about it, I thought they were going to let Minnesota rock out for about maybe at least 2 minutes. But I think they were looking at, we got to go no more than 3 hours. So I think they were looking at their stopwatch like you were looking at yours.
You know why they didn't do it? They only did a 1 minute yeet, right?
Why is that?
Too many $25 tickets.
you gotta pay the fee to yeet. You gotta pay the fee.
$25 tickets. You're not getting 10 minutes of yeeting, foul. No. And I love
reduced price yeeting.
Yes, and you notice that Royce Keys got rid of the harmonica. No harmonica in the entrance.
I just need some noise for Royce Keys. I'm so tired of these people not giving him something. They might need to give him new music. I don't know what it is. He just gets nothing out of these people.
He got a little bit of lukewarm reaction. I did like Solo Sikoa coming out. He did the pew pew to start it off. He was shooting it was pew pewing, and then you had LA Knight. The reaction that LA Knight received was great. I felt so good for him. I was like, you know what? I liked it.
You would think he was world champion the way he got with the response he got.
He got a huge pop. The match begins. I want to give you the part of the match that I enjoyed when Solo Sikoa yeeted and he taunted his brother with the running him back. Oh my God. I thought of you and I said, this is what character development and fun in a match looks like. That was good. That was good. And to your liking, I thought all 6 men worked well. I like the fact that every man got their shots in. They had 8 super kicks because I like to count the super kicks in the match. I normally put an over and under, but when we used to do the playback on the playback watch-alongs on that application, we had Deftones. He was the guy who was the unofficial super kick. Any match, he will count the super kicks per match. Whenever we had a Jey Uso or any of the Usos or any of that, we used to have an over and under. We used to have a set bet of over and under of super kicks, but I kept that tradition alive watching it at home. But they didn't overspend the super kicks. I love the fact that they did the finishers here. Jey Uso cleaned up his spears. Somebody's been working on their spears, huh?
Yeah, he's been working on his body. He looks like he's in great shape. Like he used to have a little pudge in his stomach. He's looking flat down there, man. Shout out to him.
Listen, when you're going through a divorce and you have to cut down on Waffle House, and now you have to, Miss Parker ain't gonna bring that kind of bacon in, even though she has it. She's carrying it, but now she's not bringing it. You gotta be in shape, brother. You gotta sell more T-shirts. You gotta get on top of the card. You need that rocket ship on your backpack. You
gotta be able to take that running hip attack. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. You gotta be in good shape. You can't have your blood pressure going up, and then you're screwed.
Yeah.
All in all, I love the fact that Solo assisted. He took out one of the brothers. He allowed the LA Knight to hit the BLT, on Rye, and we get a victory. I was surprised that LA Knight got the victory. They let him get the victory and go over in Minnesota.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Everybody was up here giving Jey Uso the blues when he didn't sell that neck breaker right for CM Punk last year. He sold that BFT like it was a work of art. you thought his neck was legitly broken when LA Knight landed that BFT. So shout out to Jay. They won't put that on clips, but shout out to him for that one.
He sold it like he has an alimony payment coming up and some child support.
There you go. Yeah.
Interesting enough, Haas, at the end of the match, the Solo Sikoa embrace. I thought here's when Solo is going to turn on LA Knight and we're going to keep the damn vortex going. Solo they're going to keep him babyface. They give him the hug with LA Knight. LA Knight was they didn't resist at first, but then he was like, okay. And hopefully this is something that we could put it in the books and move past. Although, I'm going to be honest with you, I do want to see Royce Keys and Solo Sikoa, not Solo, Jacob Fatu go one-on-one. I would like to see that. Not Jimmy versus Royce.
You will get that. That's probably in the cards for Sunday night's main event. And the bigger question is, does Solo stay on Raw or does he go back to SmackDown?
That's a good question. Because I wonder if the tribal chief is going to say, fine, I have to do it myself to make Solo Sikoa bend the knee. Maybe that's the next program after Seth Rollins. I don't know. We're going to have to wait for tomorrow night, depending if Roman is successfully defending his World Heavyweight title. I don't know. Interesting. Monday Night Raw is going to be really fun because at least for this to see, are they going to go back? Are they running Liv in EO back, or are they still keeping LA Knight in this bloodline vortex, or does LA Knight see his aspiration for Roman? And then maybe that's where Solo Sikoa. Remember he told him the same thing. I know how to beat. I think he told that to Seth. He ended, I'll be your shield. I know. Maybe he says that same to LA Knight, and then that's when the dissension happens. I don't know. Interesting. I could see there's some good stories if WWE takes its time to tell it and not get fiberglassed, or they have to please the vocal minority on X. Oh, I don't like this shit. If they tell it right with Roman and LA Knight, I'm invested with Solo Sikoa. I still as a hidden question mark. Blood is thicker than water. If they could tell that story well, right, I'm willing to listen to it. I'm willing to obey and listen and see. I'm gonna have the open mind to let it play out.
I think Roman's path has already been booked already. I think that's already long-term booked. I don't see LA Knight getting a title shot or anything of that because Roman doesn't fight on Raw, period. So you can get that out. You can get that out of here. And our next PLE is not till October. So after tomorrow, we may not see Roman for another couple weeks.
I think we'll see him on Sunday night's main event. I think he's gonna. I'm gonna say this now. If Roman defeats Seth Rollins, because we don't know the outcome of that match yet, they could tell us. Seth Rollins could be the champion. If Roman Reigns defends successfully his title, I think I'm gonna say this. I see LA Knight versus Roman Reigns as Sunday night's main event, and then we're gonna find out, good, bad, or indifferent, Solo Sikoa's intentions. If Solo continues to get that babyface reaction and the crowd is behind him and he's the next Yeet Man, I'm not saying he's going to Yeet, but with that popularity of Jey Uso, then he's in LA Knight. I might even say they might even shock the world and have LA Knight win the world title from Roman Reigns. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. And that's a way of all that shit eating he did, because Oba's going to win this title eventually. You can't hold that momentum. That's going to eventually happen, but I don't think WWE is that invested to jump into giving him the title right away. They'll do some, they'll give a short title reigns to LA Knight. I don't know who beats him, whatever, but I could see that in the short-term future, Haas. But we got a long time for that. We're breaking down SummerSlam here. We're just a little fantasy booking wide, just having this conversation here on a Saturday night. We thank everyone that's watching us on all the different platforms. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. We really, 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 really respect that you're here with us on a Saturday night. Thank you so much here. Well, after another 7-minute break, we get to me what was the most enjoyable match of the night for me. I love this match. Gunther versus Nick Aldis. I am very happy to see Maximus, a.k.a. Nick Aldis, in the ring. He looks great. You know what? I sat down with my wife. I said, I don't know what the hell, why it took him so long to get to the WWE, because Nick Aldis is a Vince McMahon type of wrestler. I don't know why the fuck Vince McMahon never brought him in. That's the type of wrestler Vince McMahon will love. Just the stature, the look. He looked great, Haas. Just by appearance-wise. Your thoughts? I know of Nick Aldis. We've seen him before, but to see him in that WWE environment, your thoughts?
Yes, Nick Aldis like $1 million. And I enjoyed it. Like this is really my first time seeing Nick Aldis wrestle like this firsthand. I've seen clips, but this is my first time seeing it live. I was impressed. But I will say this. Gunther, he has been on this weight loss journey, and I commend him for it. He's too damn skinny now. He looks like a string bean now. He doesn't look that intimidating anymore. Like, I'm not asking him to go back to Walter size, but he needs another 15 or 20 pounds on him. He looks too light. He looks more like a NBA basketball player now than a wrestler. Like, I can't be the only one that sees this. He looks too skinny out there.
You know what I see, Haas? And I was telling it to my wife, and I go, it makes sense now because we're in the summer. He needs the long trench coat because it made him look impressive. It made him look menacing. It made him look, oh shit, he's coming out with this long black or red trench coat, and he looked like a giant. He looked like an obstacle. He looked like a final monster, a final boss. I don't get me wrong. I do enjoy his jacket. I like it. I wouldn't mind that jacket. But when I see that jacket, I think of Giovanni Vinci. I think of Kaiser, henchman. And he was the final big boss, the big bad boss of the movie of the video game because he had the trench coat. He'll take it off and Kaiser will do his thing with it and fold it, roll it up. He doesn't. I think him going back to the trench coat, believe it or not, something simple as him going to the trench coat could give him back a little bit of his aura. And again, I like that jacket. I told my wife I would love to buy that jacket, just especially for Central Florida. It gets chilly, not too cold. It'll be perfect for this weather. I like that Gunther jacket. But my point is, the long trench made him look more menacing. It made him look like like he is a Eastern European badass.
At least the bulk. I'm telling you, he just needs another 15 pounds. He just looks too small out there to me. Like he didn't look this small at WrestleMania against Jey Uso last year. He just looks too light. Like, again, I'm not gonna slander anyone's weight loss journey. I mean, I need to lose a few pounds my damn self, but he looks more like he's 230 than he needs to be like 260.
Okay. I 250. We could compromise at 250, you know, but you know, or even if he's 245 with muscles, with a lot more muscles. He's got an ass. He dropped. Yeah, all in all, let's talk about the in-ring with Maximus, aka Nick Aldis. He did a lot of callbacks there. Did you know what two wrestlers he was imitating or doing a lot of their wrestling movesets?
I know he did a lot of British Bulldog, and they alluded to Davey Boy there. Who else were you looking at there?
The Hitman, Bret Hart, with the knee to the back, the elbow from the middle rope. Oh, I loved it. I went back in a time machine, you know, and I'm like, yeah, let's go, Nick Aldis. I love his moveset. And they didn't. And I was telling my wife when we were talking in the match, I was saying, you know what? I'm surprised there. I looked at the stopwatch. It went 11 and a half minutes, that match. By the way, Solo Sikoa also went 11 minutes as well. But they did this 8 minutes nonstop. I'm surprised. I thought they were going to go 5 minutes and they were going to go into a 2 minute submission hold. You know, and they didn't. They kept, and Aldis kept it. You saw him huffing and puffing a little bit, which is natural. I thought Aldis kept with Gunther. Everyone that continues to complain about Gunther not being exciting, boring, whatever adjectives you like to use, but he gets the best matches out of people who've been laid out of the ring for a long, extended amount of time. Case in point, Goldberg. You know, he had a great match with Goldberg. AJ Styles, you don't need to say he took out the best. AJ Styles will have a match better with anyone. He can have a match with like a Doomy Doll, like Kenny Omielda, and they'll give you a great match. But Gunther got pulled out the greatest match out of Nick Aldis here. What a debut for him. You had multiple times the crowd telling Nick Aldis, you still got it. I felt so happy for that, man. And then seeing his wife and his son at ringside, I was so happy to see that.
Oh yes, he legitimately like he was having fun out there. Like when you
Yes.
could tell when he put that sleeper hold on Gunther, he looked into the camera. You could see he was really enjoying himself. So it was very fun to watch, and the pacing was very fun. Like all these matches they seem like to be going lightning quick and everything. You had two big powerhouse men out here, and they did what they needed to do. So I enjoyed it a whole lot, and even though he tapped, he's a general manager. We had to go back to kayfabe for this. Like, don't be a tough guy out here. You are going against a guy, a former 2-time world heavyweight champion. So it makes a whole lot of sense. Even Gunther, he said that was tougher than I thought it was going to be. He said that after the match. So he gave respect after this, even though he was still being a douche at the same damn time. But it worked. This was the match of the night to me.
That was, you know what? And I was telling my wife, they trust Gunther so much, and he does so well because they put him in the ring with Pat McAfee too. McAfee had a hell of a showing against Gunther. I know we all poo-pooed it when they announced it, but when the bell rang, that match with Gunther and Pat McAfee was good. It was decent. It was very good. And that's what Gunther does. And Gunther with Nick Aldis, for him to be ineffective for 3 years, not wrestling, and getting in there with Gunther and wrestle and having a great match, and you had the crowd in 2-second occasions. I know I said that a couple seconds ago, and I'll say it again. You still have it, and the showing, and I love the fact that Aldis said this is Mickie James has said it many times because she used to be a host on Busted Open. I enjoyed her on Busted Open in the mornings. She was one of those hosts, and when Nick became the general manager, she goes, "That's a life dream of his to get to the WWE." He don't care in what capacity. If it's a GM role, he don't care. He just wanted to work and draw a paycheck from with those 3 call letters. And for him to wrestle and then in front of his son, his son with that age that he could remember, recall, and recollect, and hearing the crowd, and because he's still a man at the end of the day. And Donovan, which is their son's name, knows and seen the mother, Mickie, get inducted in the Hall of Fame, got to see her do a hardcore country run, and see her in the ring and wrestle with some good recollection, good memories. Now, their son Donovan could see the father in the WWE ring in a big event in Minnesota, in a packed house, in a big stadium show, have a match against one of the top villains of this era right now. That's a great memory as a father to give the son, and to see that person. In a personal note, the Aldis family are on cloud 9. They lived out a fantasy. They even if they didn't win at the moment, trust me, they're on cloud 9, and that was good to see. That was a great positivity that came out of this in defeat for Nick Aldis. The Aldis family really enjoyed it, and then Mickie James closing out at the end with Donovan in the ring. Great job there. I just loved the whole. That was talk about the leaf giving you feel good moments. That was a feel good moment.
Yes, and again, like I think this exceeded expectations. A lot of people, they were like, they didn't know what to expect. I enjoyed this thoroughly, and I want to see him in the ring again. Long as we had the same, long as we have certain parameters and set like they should as to him as the GM. Someone gets out of line and do the same thing. You don't have to overdo it. We can do it 6 months down the line or something like that. But I would not mind seeing him get back in the ring, just to like, hey, keep the locker room in check. So I like this a lot.
Yeah, I hope to lead that going forward. If Aldis, whichever direction WWE has for Nick Aldis, he's only 39 years old. If he wants to be a part-time wrestler, I wouldn't mind running his back to see Cody Rhodes and Nick Aldis. I know that was a hell of a match. Wouldn't mind that. Wouldn't even mind CM Punk and Nick Aldis. Wouldn't mind one iota if they blink and give me that as well. Even Finn Balor and Nick Aldis would be a hell of a match. There is some good matchup possibilities with Nick if he wants to stay a in-ring performer, but we're gonna find out in a couple weeks with how sore he is, if he misses it, if he wants, or is he just likes being part of the character as a general manager. Either way, whatever direction Nick Aldis do, I'm here for it. Whether wrestler or on-screen personality, I just am a fan. He made me even more of a fan of Nick Aldis tonight. Great job there. Beautiful, beautiful job. Yeah, let's take a quick commercial, a quick reset of some water. I'm going to give our sponsor. Summer's here. I know it's going to say he's upon this, but let's hear from Dude Wipes, who sponsored us tonight. It's a quick 40-second break, guys. So I could get some water. Here we go.
Summer is upon us real soon. When the temps start to climb, cool down your undercarriage with a poopsicle. Dude Wipes team created the world's first ice pop scented butt wipes. Every dude deserves a little treat after dropping a dookie. Poopsicle Wipes. Get your butt over to the TP aisle or snag a pack online. Here, your promo code. Text DUDESAVE20 to 59463. Get 20% off. Dude Wipe, sponsor of the Sports Jedi Network channel. Feel the force. Stay Dude Wipe clean.
This is the one and only Paige, and you're watching Sports Jedi Network. Feel the force.
As I purposely did that there, because we go right into the 6-woman tag. Fatal Influence versus Nikki, Brie, and Paige, as we heard her there with the drop. The match started 8-minute match where we're seeing, I said this, Haas, I said, where we're seeing the difference on Vince McMahon's women's division and HBK's women's division. And here we go. Not Triple H, Paul Levesque's women's division is the horsewoman. To me, Paige, Nikki, Brie Bella, those are Vince's. Boy, you see the difference in the wrestling. Aggressiveness, the detail of techniques, and the execution. It wasn't a terrible match. It wasn't a great match. It was a match. It was fair. We get Fatal Influencing winning, pinning Paige, who Paige was very active, but what everyone knew, even Stevie Wonder, even Ray Charles knew, we were going to see the Bellas turn on Paige. Okay, then now what, Haas?
If we want to get real fantasy book crazy with this, I would move Paige to Raw, make her be a big baby face, and I'd make her Liv's next opponent. I mean, I'm not against that. Yeah, because if you're gonna go with this nostalgia run, you can't just let it sit there. You got to go ahead and use her right now. And since she already got the baby face rub off the getting beat up by the Bellas, go ahead and move her to the main event right now. So I would have that program ready on Monday, because there's no need for Paige to try to go after the Bellas by herself. She can't beat them. Unless you bring in an AJ Lee or somebody to come help her immediately, which I don't see that happening. Go ahead and separate them. Have the Bellas on SmackDown and have Paige on Raw, moving right to Liv right now.
Yeah, because I don't see anyone. And Paige, by the way, everyone says the nostalgia run. Paige is only 33 years old, 34 years old. He's got a lot in the tank. I know the injuries for the neck. If they were to make Paige more of a full-timer and have her work more, I'm not against that. I could see the ones I could see occasionally is the Bellas. I know Nikki was pretty decent, but Brie was horrible tonight. Her execution of the moves, that's why I told my wife you could see Vince McMahon's women's division and Shawn Michaels' women's division. Some of the clothesline, she got no reaction for the yes kicks. Maybe 2 or 3 cats got out of their seats. She didn't get a whole arena full. She didn't get a full yes chant movement from the arena. It was just a few. And by the way, talk about piping in or fudging. When Brie Bella, they decided to show the noise meter. And when Brie Bella, it all of a sudden went out of the charts, and meanwhile everybody was just there like this when they went. The noise meter was up to like, it was, oh my God, your ears were about to bleed, but everybody in the arena was like, they were like standing still. They looked like they were playing freeze tag. I'm like, what was that?
For some reason, I believe when you get that, Nikki Bella gets this a tremendous pop when her music comes on. I don't buy it at all. For some reason, like, I guess they call me a hater. I do not see that same energy when she wrestles. Them people do not have that same pop for her when she does the Rack Attack 2.0. But when she come out there, when that music come out, miraculously all the noise in the arena comes out like she's CM Punk. I don't understand that. That's why I think it's piped in. Like, I don't get that.
Yeah, it's piped in, because when I look, I don't want to touch her.
I mean, she may break. There's a lot of cosmetic surgery there, pal.
Yeah, I mean, she's handling 24-year-olds. I mean, she should,
Well, the Super Bowl champion, she let him go.
She dismissed him. Nikki Bella could be she could be the Rack Attack, but she's not known. She's not known Inspector. She's not an inspector. Shout out to Titty Inspector, man. That's the guy of the show. Nikki Bella. What's going on, Mr. Littman? Nikki Bella is a living legend. Yeah, but this rendition of the WWE right now, Nikki is the more impressive than Brie. I gotta give credit where credit's due. Brie is awful. Brie is not good.
She honestly makes her husband look bad. Like if Bryan Danielson is up here training her to do those type of kicks and those type of moves, she needs to go back home. Go back home with your children, baby. Go back home.
And the thing is, her husband is getting punished by Tony Khan for her working in the WWE. He took her off of commentary, took him off of commentary, and and she's not.
I'll back him on this one, Kev. He says he can't travel so much because of his neck injury, like it hurts to travel on the airplane and whatnot. So I'll give him that.
All right, maybe he can stop bopping Tony Khan and the neck won't hurt.
back to the show. But yeah, with the Bellas, they're gonna let Fatal Influence have these belts for maybe about a month or two. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bellas probably get those belts by Money in the Bank or either Sunday Night's Main Event, because they're gonna be tag champions before the end of this year. Because I don't think they're gonna wrestle next year. I just don't see it. Like,
well, if they are a menacing heel, I want it, but they're heels versus heels against Fatal Influence.
I mean, you can't there's no way of baby facing the Bellas now. They just abuse Paige.
Have them baby face no more. I need them heels. They work better as heels because you want to boo them. Because you want even if they get go away heat or shut the fuck up heat, you want that from them. They get at least a reaction.
See, we'll just have to stomach that heel versus heel match because they're gonna give the Bellas those belts sometime this year. It's gonna happen. So and it's gonna. The biggest problem here is every female group are heels. I mean, except for Charlotte and Alexi, but she's hurt now. I mean, well,
and we don't know if she might even interject tomorrow night. So we have to wait and see. They might be a heel turn on Alexa Bliss. Who knows? I mean, you never know.
Well, she's wearing that cast. She got to keep selling that injury. I don't think she's going to come tomorrow. I don't think so.
All right. I mean, but she could use that cast to hit her friend.
Yeah. You got something there. You
never know. That's why I'm like you said, you're correct, because the only reaction the women get if they're heels and you can't stand them, and you want to tell them to go away heat. And that's not good. That's not good for the women wrestlers. You want some good baby face women wrestlers, and it's hard because even the heels don't get the real proper heel. Like, ooh, boo. They're more like go away heat, chauvinistic heat. Unfortunately, when it comes to the men, the people, the WWE crowd, and that's a bad thing. I feel bad for them. The ladies work hard. I love JC Jane, and I told you I did a video on the old channel. When JC Jane won both the knockouts title last year. Immediately, JC Jane is projectingly becoming the female version of HBK, and I loved her in her ring attire. It was a throwback to her own mentor, Shawn Michaels. I said it on a video a year ago. I saw that immediately with JC Jane splitting from the tag team or from the Toxic Attraction Vortex, starting her own group, becoming a face of both two brands at the same time, running around. I said there's a lot of Shawn Michaels in JC Jane, and boy, that outfit fit perfect for her coming out. And I watching JC Jane for all those years. Me and my wife were proud JC Jane fan. Watching that match, I'm watching her. She should have been in the ladder match. She should be going after the world title. It's going to happen, but let's see what happens. And she's another one. She should be the second one in line to be Money in the Bank winner if it's not Roxanne Perez.
I believe they're just going to have JC take that belt off Tiffany eventually and probably move Tiffany back to the main event. I believe that's what they're going to do with that.
I can see that. If they do if she done run with the Money in the Bank briefcase with Fatal Influence around, that wouldn't be that to see Fatal Influence being menace on SmackDown and on Raw. Who's not gonna say no to that?
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if they'll pull the trigger, but I just throw it out there.
And with JC, hopefully she doesn't inherit the backstage heat that HBK used to get before he met God. About that one.
Yeah, interesting enough there. Goes to our co-main event. Undisputed World Heavyweight Champion Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk. By the way, that 29, almost 30 minutes for that world title picture. Good match, but I'm gonna be honest with you, Haas. Until when did I say until they did a certain move in the match, right a couple seconds before the referee bump, I was bored as hell. I'm sorry, I was bored as hell. I thought this was to me the poorest match of the night, and it wasn't bad, it wasn't terrible, but it didn't move me for a world heavyweight title match. I wasn't enamored, excited. It was just a match for me. I don't know your thoughts.
The match was fine. I hated the finish. Lord and behold, Cody Rhodes gets a clean finish here. We can't beat Cody Rhodes clean. Somebody's got to come and do something. But with this match, Punk, this is back-to-back years with Punk in SummerSlam. Some people loved this match against Gunther last year before the cash-in. Some people hated it. I'm on that end. I hated that match because I was bored as hell. Very slow-paced. And when Punk controls the pace of a match, you would think CM Punk was 6'6", 280 pounds. He wrestles so slow and methodically. It just doesn't fit his body type. Does that make sense?
He's a little older. I don't think he could go in a quicker speed.
Yeah, well,
you know what bothered me with Punk, Haas? I got to give him credit, though. At his age, he did the moonsault. It was a bad one. It almost took Cody's head
terrible.
Off.
Terrible.
He made up for it with the elbow, and when Cody moved out of the way and missed, I was like, ooh. Because he was losing back. He was like a little unsure with the balance there. I was like, oh, my God. I'm like, what are we doing here? Don't do it. But, yeah, that moonsault was terrible. Yeah, there was something. Put it this way. And this is crazy because the IWC was like, we should have gone to the WrestleMania. Punk and Cody. You see why they didn't go that route? I mean, that I wasn't. It wasn't the big wow factor that the IWC wanted to see Cody and Punk. I didn't. If I could say this now, I hope I never see these two wrestle ever again.
I would. Well, I'm not gonna go that far. I would like to see it with a good build. I want to see that. But was it Reigns Punk? Not way in hell. Nowhere. It was nowhere close. But
that match was way better than Cody Rhodes than tonight's match.
Yeah, because the thing about with Cody is Cody. It seemed like Cody had to go down a peg to keep up with Punk's tempo, and Cody, when he works a slower match, it exposes him because he's a decent in-ring wrestler, but his move set is meant to go faster. The crossroads is a quicker move. The avalanche Cody cutter, the disaster kick, those are quick offensive moves. And so when you do it if you do it at such a slow, methodical pace, it doesn't work as well. Like you got Punk up here doing the running bulldog and doing finisher spam, doing the GTS 4 or 5 times. It's just it's all about taste. And I wasn't that enamored with it, but it was fine. I'm not gonna say it was bad.
You know why he worked a slow, methodical pace, right?
Well, I know they were both fading
storylines in the match. The story of the match was that he had a compromised knee going into the match.
Yeah, he had the bad knee and Cody had the bad arm. So I get that.
So that's why Punk maybe had to work in that kind of to sell the knee, because Punk is one of those old school that will sell. I mean, he sold a couple of things there. But here's the one thing and golly, I should have done a freaking video. I had health issues with that. That's why I was going to do it in a milk carton. Where the hell is Randy Orton? He's too talented to be left off the WWE roster, not utilized, especially after not being in Fanatics, not seeing him, not being nowhere near spotted. And out and behold, RKO, boom, Randy Orton shows back up, continuing the feud with Cody Rhodes. This time I like it because there's no title involved. Now we can have a proper feud between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton moving forward And we talked about Cody Rhodes being a sore loser, and we said it earlier today on our show. We don't see Cody Rhodes. I didn't see Cody Rhodes turning heel. I see him more of a sore loser, upset that he lost, and maybe down the road it still bothers him, and then he turns heel. But WWE really had that in their pocket. They weren't turning Cody heel. They'll bring in Randy Orton back to be that heel. But let me ask this, Haas. With Randy Orton coming back, your thoughts on that? And the crowd was so 90% pro CM Punk.
Yes, we talked about this a few weeks ago when I said Cody Rhodes is going to see how over he really is. These people love CM Punk. I mean, I don't see it as much as they do, but I guess I understand. But yeah, these people, like, nostalgia hits differently. That's why he went to that elbow drop. That when he went back to against the Undertaker years ago. So when he pulled out stuff like that, and he just comes off as more likable than Cody Rhodes. I guess because Cody is more overexposed these days. That's all that is. But with Randy Orton, like I said, I hate it because I wanted a clean finish. That's just me nitpicking. That's me nitpicking. But I can say this. I would rather Cody go to Randy than have this feud go on any longer without a proper build. So I will settle there. I'd rather see Randy and Cody go with a program for about a month or two than rather seeing Punk and Cody just keep going.
Yeah, and by the way, they did this. They showcased the Street Fighter movie. Cody's entrance was with the Guile hairpiece and all that. It was the sponsor of the match, Street Fighter. I gotta tell you this, I cannot wait for it to be on streaming platform in 3 weeks after release, because that movie looks total hot garbage.
Yeah, it looks goofy as hell, real campy looking movie. Like we just saw Mortal Kombat 2, and we're gonna compare that to Street Fighter. Man, I enjoyed it. I liked it better than the first one.
Yeah, you know why? Because I liked it the original Mortal Kombat in '98, the movie, and I didn't like this. I don't know, Street Fighter movie. Yeah, so
yeah, that Guile mask wasn't that great. It wasn't that great, Jeff. You're right. It was real weird looking.
Yeah, it was very weird. By the way, you saw that you had in the front row, you had the Busted Open group. Even Tommy Dreamer had 2 seats. He took up 2 seats, man. What's up with that?
Yeah, he's big. He's bigger than Bubba Ray these days.
Bully Ray looks pretty decent. He looked like he looked like a holy virgin there, all in white. I thought are you getting baptized? Hey, Bully, are you getting baptized, pal?
We can really say they really put over WWE radio tonight.
Oh,
they put that.
Greco was all over picking his nose, and he looked like he was hanging out with Tony Khan in the bathroom. He was oh boy, I was like, oh, and then he takes and he wipes his fingers. I'm like, oh, he got snot all over him. But Dave LaGreca,
too much of the booger sugar these days.
Yeah, hanging out there with Tony Khan.
The devil's dandruff.
Yeah. If you look at that shot, my goodness, LaGreca, come on, man. I mean, oof.
But yeah, this match, I could have got a little bit more, but hey, it's just they don't have that much chemistry, and you could clearly see it.
Yeah, you could see that they don't have that chemistry. Again, me personally, if I never see it again, I'm fine with it. Yeah, I'm totally that bad. That's how much it wasn't terrible. It's just for the Undisputed World title. Ooh, I'm glad they didn't main event with that. We'll get to our main event now. If you please hit that.
Maybe our expectations were too high. Maybe I don't.
It could be. Main event: Oba Femi, Brock Lesnar. Hell in the Cell was a match. Back and forth with these these monsters. Your thoughts, first and foremost, the presentation, the look. They had a little bit of trouble getting the cage down because they had to get rid of the fire pit or the fire boxes that they had around the ring. Because the referee waited to ring that bell for a while. Like, ring the fucking bell already. Ring the bell. And the match starts back and forth. Those two behemoths. They did enough. They did everything but not bleed.
We needed that blood. Like I said it in our show earlier today, the beast needed to bleed. But I can't say they didn't try. They tried. They just with no blading, just no hard way. They tried the hard way, just didn't pour. No juice.
No, I thought Oba was gonna bleed when the steps were to the forehead. I was like, maybe Oba bleeds here, maybe he bleeds, and maybe we see something. No, I didn't see it. Your thoughts on him exposing the canvas? Like, I'm glad. You know what? I was happy. I was happy for those, for all these wrestling people that criticize and say, that is not mattresses. All that was a little thin piece of foam, and that's hard wood. That's wood underneath there. That's not you in your king size bed jumping, or you as a twin side bed jumping like a little kid, and you're gonna do all these moves. This is not the funhouse air balloon air pockets, that funhouse jump house that you guys get from your local amusement stores, whatever, for kids' birthday parties. This is wood. That these people, these men and women, when they drop on their back onto that, they're dropping onto wood. They're not dropping onto mattresses and anything soft, pillows or anything like that. So I like that, because there's still people that are so naive, or they choose to be ignorant. And I'm glad that we saw what was underneath there. You know, I knew what that was. We don't, but there's still people that they're in la la land, their fantasy. They think that's a pillow. So I'm glad we saw that there. What's your thoughts on the Undertaker callback from first coming up and laughing and kicking open the face, and then the tombstone? That was a cool moment.
That was great. I enjoyed every bit of that. And the thing about it, like with Oba, I thought Oba was gonna kick out in one. I thought we was gonna
get a Kai Fletcher.
I really thought we was gonna get that one, because they had Oba. He was up here no selling, going to Suplex City a couple times. So why not kick out in one at the tombstone on the wood? But yeah, that callback was great. Like, and Brock really sold the tongue out and everything. Great presentation. That was great. It was great.
The only thing that I didn't like afterwards, when the fall of grace was a little bit underwhelming for the victory. That's what I got. I didn't like it.
I thought he was gonna hit it on top of the wood. I was
That's
really
what he needed to
that.
be.
I don't know if that was a miscue, or did Brock didn't want to take that power bomb on the wood. I don't know what that was, but that kind of underwhelmed me there.
Yeah, it was very underwhelming, because you see Brock Lesnar looking for the wood. Did we hit it? Did we miss it? And that's what was very underwhelming. And then he stood down for the 3. I was like, that was a little underwhelming, that finish.
Like, I thought he was gonna pick him up again and do it again, but hey, what can you do? They were pressed for time at that point. I want to say it was like 8:05 at that point.
But what was the point of going off? What's pressed for time is the premium live event on ESPN app. You go off whenever you go off. That's why worries. What's this rush before? There is no rush. You're not on network. This is not the CW. This is an app. It's Saturday night. What you're gonna get mad with? You're gonna piss off the UFC? Oh, nobody. Come on. And by the way, I don't know if did you see the ads, or I don't know if you got to see the ads. I don't think so, right? You were you were on the international feed, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't catch many of the ads. No, I did not. I caught the.
I don't know why. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I'm on ESPN Plus. The full ESPN I pay for. I got nothing but Houston ads. I got this terrible Houston attorney. He looked like his dentures. He looked like Don Callis, that his dentures were going to come off. Right? Yeah, text message, you're dead. Yeah, from what your wife finds out, you're dead. You're like, if you got hit by a car accident, I'm like, what? These commercials that they put on the ads were horrible. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know what? Sometimes I welcome the Netflix DiGiorno's and the Minute Maid. They gave us and again, I am in Orlando, Florida. I don't know why the hell they gave me Houston attorney, but he must have paid a lot of money for that ad because he kept showing all different ads with that Houston attorney. My goodness, I wanted to call him and say, please, no more ads. Please, no more ads. Fix your teeth. Spend the money on teeth. Put some new dentures, veneers. Go to Roman's dentist. It was bad. It was like, ugh.
I asked you this, Kev. I don't know if you would go into this question. What do you feel this match warranted Hell in a Cell?
They did use tables. They used steps. Here's the one thing that I didn't like. They never used the cage as the weapon. Mm-hmm. Brock never raked Oba's face in the cage or vice versa. It was just they didn't do anything that it didn't warrant the Hell in a Cell because it felt like they didn't need it. They could have had just a street fight and it would have been fine. They did that structure for nothing. There was no use of the cage. The cage in the Hell in a Cell, the cage is the weapon, and they didn't utilize the cage. The cage, and I know, they do have a cage match is to keep people from interfering coming in. I understand that, but you could also use the cage as a weapon to rake someone's face, throw someone against the cage, do an hour moment, and they never did. It was just a basic match. I feel mixed reaction, Hoss.
Okay. Well, I'd probably, if I was rating this, I'd probably say a 7 out of 10. It just like
for the card or for the match?
For the match, because not doing the fall from grace on top of the wood. You wanted more out of that. We knew Brock had a limited move set. He wasn't going to do that much, but Oba could have showcased just a little bit more. If you get what I'm saying, like
yes.
So, but I did like the table spot. Throwing him through the table and the steel step spot. That was cool. Yeah,
you saw the welts on Brock Lesnar's back.
Yes, I saw that. Yes, and with Oba here, it's just seems these short matches. They're not really helping him for the main event. Like the match before went like 30 minutes. We gotta whoever Oba's next opponent is, he gotta have a long-term match, a longer duration match.
Yes, I like the did you like the fact at the end of that Brock Lesnar picks up the microphone and he acknowledged the crowd, I'm the past and this is the future, raise his hands up. And I was like, ooh, I was waiting for I thought Paul Heyman was gonna come and hit Brock Lesnar in the nuts and walk away with Oba Femi. I thought Brock Lesnar was gonna walk away, was gonna get hit in the nuts, and Oba Femi was gonna walk away with Paul Heyman. But no, they kept it clear, the passing of a torch moment there. I'm okay with that. I even like when Brock here's the one thing I didn't like. I said, ooh, you really want to do that? When Heyman got on the microphone and he got on the table, I thought the table was gonna. It would have been funny if the table would have collapsed and broken. But he goes from the University of Minnesota, and that got a big pop. I was like, do you really want to do that with Oba Femi when you want people hearing Oba and booing Brock as hell? But he should have said from Saskatchewan, and the crowd would have been booing. He's from Minnesota, and you would have got that negative heat. But they didn't go. It's nitpicking, but they tiptoed a dangerous line there.
I liked when Brock putting him over like that, but the whole thing about this is if you're gonna have Brock do that, you cannot have Oba come here on Monday night and go squash Rusev. We can't be having stuff like this. Like, he needs a program that's going to be like, okay, he was worthy to be in this spot. You just bumped the Undisputed WWE Championship for a rookie and the Beast. So treat Oba accordingly. You have to do these things. Will Triple H do it? There's yet to be determined. But it's just we're putting all these things in motion for Oba. Creative has to act on it. They have to.
Can I fantasy book and run an idea for Monday Night Raw when it comes to Oba Femi? Oba Femi's in the ring, cutting his promo. I can't go to the Beast. I said that I couldn't be beat. I went into the cage, all that stuff. Paul Heyman comes out and kind of congratulating Brock Lesnar. I mean, congratulating Oba Femi, doing his promo from behind Big Bronson Reed. Bam. You got a program with Big Bronson Reed and Oba Femi.
I like that. I would have no problem with that.
You know why? Even if Big Bronson Reed loses, you're gonna get more than a 6-minute match with Big Bronson Reed. Big Bronson Reed could go 20 minutes with Oba Femi and go to push some limits and make him work. Even if Big Bronson Reed gets fed to him, which is not gonna be cool, but still, you still need Oba Femi to work long matches. And I think Big Bronson Reed will be one of those with Paul Heyman. And so is he managing? And leaving that question, is Big Bronson Reed managing? Bronson Reed? What happens with the division? Who cares? That's now we're asking questions and we have talking points as a fan base and how the curve. And now you want people talking, and that's a way to do that with Big Brunswick attacking Obafemi from behind. And I'm like, oh, what a return back from. We heard rumors that he was getting cleared, and Big Brunswick comes in, even puts 3 tsunamis. Even if they have to take Obafemi a little hurt out, not injured for broken ribs, but injured, compromised, or even if they say that, and even when he fights Big Brunswick, whenever that match happens, he's compromised with some ribs. Even if he takes 2 weeks, but they've Saturday night's main event, and even if he's compromised, but he struggles to that. It gives Obafemi a program to work with for weeks until they say when they really want to put that title on him when that is. But to me, that's the kind of guy you need, because there's no one else. I'm trying to think of anyone else in the roster that could do that kind of damage that hurt him for a while, especially on Raw, unless if they go with Braun. But it seems like they're scared of doing that, But Braun has got the World Tag Team title, so they're not going to do it. He's too busy there with it. There's no one menacing that could pose damage to Obafemi.
I would say Oba's weekend is not done. I would have him there for night 2. I would have him interfere against Sammy and Finn, just destroy both of them, and just announce, "This is my title shot. I want CM Punk." And I would have him in a long-term program with CM Punk.
I don't know if WWE will do it. I wouldn't mind that, because everybody wants to assume it's Roman Reigns that Obafemi is going to take that title from. Yes, it will make Obafemi if he beats Roman Reigns, but I don't think Roman's there. Do you really want to take the title of Roman right now? He's box office. He makes money. He's he's again night number 2, where it's just he makes money. They try to put him in night number 1 last year for John Cena, respectfully, but everyone says night 2 last year WrestleMania was garbage, hot garbage main event with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. So they go, no, we go back to our cash cow and Roman Reigns. So I don't know. I don't know. Interesting enough on that, where they go with that. I'm with you. I'm all ears with you. I'm not opposed or see any negative with that Obafemi and CM Punk. You want to see, if you're going to make Obafemi the face of your, or like Brock Lesnar the future, you got to see if he knows how to speak like he's the future. And nobody better than CM Punk.
Yeah, because Punk already alluded to it with Trick on Friday. He said, "I need new opponents." Well, what's more new than the King of the Ring? Because we've already seen Punk against Finn Balor. We've seen Punk against Sami Zayn. Do you really want to see either one of those matches again? Because Punk's going to go over on SmackDown. Do you want to see that again?
Yeah, I told you today earlier, I don't mind seeing either one of them too. If they're not gonna, but if they're gonna leapfrog with the Oba plan, your plan right now, I like that more. Than I don't mind seeing either one of those 2 number 1 contender matches that we're gonna see tomorrow night. If whichever one wins, wouldn't be opposed to seeing any of them. But if you're gonna tell me Obafemi comes out, I'm more invested. You got my attention.
See, that's all about making better episodic television. That's it.
Yeah. All in all, SummerSlam was very good. Night number 1 was good. I don't see anything negative unless just minor things that we said. I know, like we mentioned, I thought the first half of the Undisputed World title match was a little boring, and we said our reasons. The finisher on the main event but then they did that nice passing of the torch moment that makes you forget about how anticlimactic that final fall for grace was, because you got the euphoria of passing the torch, which they did a good job there. Again, good opener between the Women's World Championship. Match of the night with Aldis and Gunther was good. The Stevie Wonder match of the night that everyone's seen it, even a blind man saw it, was the Paige being attacked by Fatal Influence. I love that the girls got their opportunity. And it furthers my critique, and I get so mad at creative. If they pick and choose when they want to put the machine or they want to elevate any of the women. Lainey Reed and even Michael Cole said she's only been doing this for a year and a half. Look at her. She's got a tag team title and she's in a SummerSlam match. And you got women that don't even get sniff a moment on SmackDown or Raw. Bayley, who is a horsewoman, she's not even on this SummerSlam card. She wasn't even in WrestleMania, but you have Lainey Reed on SummerSlam. I know we want to talk about, you got to elevate the young superstars, the new up and rising superstars. Great, I understand that. But that shows you that WWE, whoever they want, they could put at that main event scene. They choose not
to. You're correct. You're absolutely correct. And when it comes down to pushing whoever they want, I really believe they get up here and they put the metrics up. They're like, okay, who's the young person that was selling enough merch at the PC? Who they love down there the most? Okay, let's see how that works. And it's the old boys club. They just do what they want to do. They really don't care what the people want. And that's what people use the term out of touch. Like we talked about it earlier today about the demographic that usually watches these shows. They're older than the demographic that are watching the shows. So that shows you that they're out of touch. Bruce Pritchard's close to 70?
They're
Michael
very
Hayes,
out of touch. No, they're very
70?
out of touch. They're completely they're very out of touch. They feel like they have to keep certain people at the main event scene. Yeah, I understand. Punk at the world title. I like Punk as the world champion. Don't get me wrong. We talked about Roman. I love it. But you got to start elevating and start putting other wrestlers here. One thing I do say, I'm a little disappointed. Yes, it was 6 matches. A 7th match would have not hurt this card.
No, it wouldn't have. Like, because we finished right north of 3 hours with 6 matches. So we could have got one more. Like, we could have got the Women's International Championship. We could have got, if Tiffany wasn't in that ladder match, we could have got the U.S. title. So a lot. Again, we're nitpicking, but this is what we do. We critique the show, but nothing egregious happened tonight. Nothing egregious. So
no,
I would say. Go ahead.
Let me say this: wasn't it refreshing for tonight? No celebrities involvement in the match, in the ring, nothing.
Yeah. I would say the commercials weren't that bad.
They were 7 minutes apart, and it gave me time to get water. And you'll use the restroom. Come back, and it wasn't that much of a. It wasn't offensive.
I guess because WrestleMania was just so jarring, we were prepared for this, so
that too.
Yeah, it just didn't feel that bad. Because
are we getting conditioned like sheep to accept it? Take it and love it, pal.
Yes, we are, especially for the big four. We are being prepped for this because truth be told, other than WrestleMania and this, Royal Rumble won't feel like this. Survivor Series won't feel like this. So, yeah, we are being conditioned to take this. We are being conditioned. Yes.
I did appreciate though. This was just straight up on the app. I dislike when it's on ESPN. Then you need to switch for the next hour. I hate, even though if you're on ESPN, even if you're on the ESPN app from the very beginning, you get to see even the pre-show. You don't need to change your app because that's the way. Because trust me, from doing a watch along and doing that, that's fine. You don't need to change it. But I like that they didn't, because it didn't feel. It felt when they were on the ESPN channel for the free hour, it felt they had to give you ads. They had to give you breaks. It was forced in. The match were even shorter, even though the matches we mentioned, the first one was 13 minutes, and the second one was 11, and then in between was 7 minutes of ads due to the first 2 matches. If that's the 2 matches that they had if they were on ESPN, but I'm glad they got rid of that, a little bit of that. I find it nonsensical. Don't do that. Don't and I understand why they do it, because you want little Timmy to bug and bother his daddy to order the app and buy it because he's watching it on, but still. I understand why they did it. Fear of missing out, FOMO, but still, to me, I found it annoying tonight. It wasn't annoying. It was very pleasant. That it was just on one app. You watched it. It was good. I want to give this show an 8.5 because it was 3 hours that I really enjoyed. It was good. It was fun.
I go 7. I'm 7 out of 10. But it's the thing about it is when you got the term Undisputed WWE Championship, it just holds a lot of gravitas, and it didn't hold up his end of the bargain. And Hell in a Cell too, like solid match, it didn't satisfy enough. if that makes sense to you. So I said 7 out of 10, but I do have a question here, Cap.
Yeah.
Okay. For the main event, do you think it was a logistical thing with the Hell in a Cell having problems coming down? Or do you think WWE thinks that Brock and Oba is bigger than their undisputed champions?
No, I don't think, because Brock never said that was his last match. He never said he retired. He never, he did that on WrestleMania. So he wasn't going to do it again because it would have went in deaf ears. Like, you're crying wolf, or yeah. I think, and I said it earlier, and I'll say, I think it just takes a long time to raise and lower that cage. You want to leave that for the end. Either you do it in the very beginning, and then you waste time raising it, and it's up there until it's done. The whole event is finished, capuche, or you use it for the main event, and that's why Mike Johnson, PWI, earlier said that it was the main event. I know we had a little bit of a disagreement with some of our chat members, and Chris about one said WWE reports that it's Cody the main event with Punk, and then PWI they changed it, and that's probably what it was: the logistics of raising and lowering the cage and the possibility of having issues. I think that's what happened, and you know what? Because also when you see the cage, it's hard to follow that. Let's say that would have opened up. Let's say they would have put this on ESPN proper, right? And they would have done the Hell in a Cell match, and that was a banger of a match. Good luck in following that. Even though the lady said follow this, but they did the right thing because it's just a ladies match. It was still good. It was you know what? I enjoyed more Liv and Io than Punk and Cody.
Yes, I did. I'm right with you on that one. So, do you think the egos of Punk and Cody were satisfied with going before the main event?
Oh, that's an interesting question. That's a very good question. I'm not gonna lie. The way they, but if it was the case, Punk sold that knee. Maybe yeah. Maybe they came together without the writers or without the agents or Booker say, you know what, then Cody and Punk talk backstage and let's just slow the shit down. And they want to make us, we're not the main event, we'll work slow. And maybe I don't know. It's hard for me to say. Their performance, put it this way, I know that Cody and Punk wrestle better. I think there was a better match to be given. Maybe because maybe unconsciously we're not going to main event. So maybe they dropped them a peg down. You might be right, Haas. You got something there.
They're gonna go back to this Unreal the next season. This is gonna be part of it.
Oh yeah, because you're gonna see the Aldis family, the Aldis story. Yeah.
So that's why I had to ask that question. And
what you think? What's your thoughts?
My thoughts is I don't think they're too happy about it. These men, they've been in this business for a long time, and I think it's the Oba factor. The old bulls do not like when the young guys are upstaging them, and it's more he's in there with Brock, and they understand that. But this makes them look like Brock Lesnar is a bigger star than the both of them, and he is. But I don't think they believe that in their heart of hearts. Am I wrong for saying that? Is Brock Lesnar a bigger star than Cody Rhodes and CM Punk?
I don't think so. Brock Lesnar. Damn. You know why I take that back? Brock Lesnar was one of the big stars because he crossed over to the UFC. I don't think if Brock wouldn't was successful in the fight pits and actually was your world heavyweight champion for the UFC. So it showed that he's a real badass motherfucker. Excuse my language. Where Punk tried the UFC and got knocked out twice. It didn't work. I gotta say Brock is a bigger star, Haas.
And this
for wrestling fans, us that's pure wrestling fan, I can see people say no, Cody and Punk. For non-wrestling fans, I think Brock Lesnar has a bigger push.
As a wrestling fan, if Brock Lesnar wasn't tied into the Vince situation, I think it'd be undisputed. Like Cody and Punk don't stand a chance to Brock star power. It's just a likability.
Great analogy. Thank you for giving me that lifeline. Yes.
And so when And I think for a casual fan that sat through this whole night, I think they'll go back to old wrestling tropes. You see these two big badasses in the show, and you be like, how come they're not going for the Undisputed Championship? Neither one of those big ass men. You're telling me that the guys before them are better than what I just saw in a cage?
Now, when they ask those questions, who are they asking that to? A wrestling fan?
First of all, they're asking to themselves because they're like, wait a minute. They're like, what did I just watch? I just see two guys. They just had to tell the tape that these guys were 6'3", 6'4", 300 plus pounds, big as hell, chest wide as shit, and they're not going for the undisputed title. But I'm looking at a guy that's 48 who has a bad knee, and I'm looking at a so-called golden boy with a bad arm. That's where kayfabe blurs the lines. Like,
now, if they go looking for questions, they'll explain to them that Brock has, Oba has this in the ring, yada. But that's us as wrestling nerds that know the backstory.
And they'll think we're crazy as hell because they're like, there's no way you can explain that to them. People like, how you gonna tell me that CM Punk is better than Oba Femi? Yeah, they're like, what are you talking about?
I understand. Yeah, but let me ask this question: after tonight's SummerSlam, you think they hook more casuals to want to watch?
No. It's
why?
The reason I say that because with the presentation was nice. They didn't sell it hard, like Hell in a Cell didn't I don't think it sold enough for a casual viewer. When you hear the terms Hell in a Cell, blood would have sold that so much more to a casual viewer.
Would a casual get put off though?
No. Like unless you're just a prudish person or you're squeamish for blood, no. But people who are watching this theatrical shit that we watch, they're not going to be turned off by a little blood because this is combat.
Let me ask a follow up to that one. That's why when you bleed occasionally, it makes a difference.
Yes.
You can't be out there. You cannot be out there like if you have your menstrual cycle, John Moxley.
Yeah, this is not like a game of Mortal Kombat where you got the blood on and once you get a punch, you're like, arr, 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 arr. Yeah. So because in essence, we are watching physical theater. So if I'm watching, say I'm watching Romeo and Juliet, and when they get to the scene at the end where Juliet, offs herself, you want to see the blood. It's a selling point. So it's just that's why when people argue that is this a sport presentation or does this lean to a theater presentation, it's the little things there that sell it just that much more.
I could see that. I could understand that. To me, I think it did get more casual viewers. If you're a casual watching this on a Saturday night, you saw these women out there give a hell of a match. The Liv and Io, and even Fatal Influence. They look younger. They go bye, especially with JC Jane looked in the camera, and you called them. We're the young movement. Something I paraphrase. And then at the end, when you see Oba Femi get past the torch from Brock Lesnar, I'm the past and this is the future. Where if you're a casual that watched him and knows Brock Lesnar from UFC days, and I'm like, man, this guy, that's Oba Femi. Who is this guy? This guy that Brock Lesnar is saying he's the future. I think it did. I think it did its job for the casuals. Now they have to keep it up for tomorrow. Hopefully, that's something that they could. If the casual says I'm going to tune in tomorrow night, they really need to knock it out of the park because they have to captivate and keep me. Oh well, maybe that was just an anomaly. You don't want it to be an anomaly. You need it to be. This is the norm. They got a big shoes to fill tomorrow night.
This would have been the night to have the Danhausen match. Tomorrow has got a lot riding on it.
Yeah, the Danhausen money on the post would have been a good match here. Yes, I agree with you. That would have been a good match. Which one would you take out though?
I would have just threw it in there because how long does Danhausen and Dom need? 12 minutes?
I agree with you there. And by the way,
you already know what's coming.
They stooged off. I think they stooged the match already. WWE Shop. Did you see what WWE Shop is selling now?
Oh, the Human Monies.
I think Dominic wins that, and he opens it up. He's gonna have that WWE shop human money, and yeah.
I know. Well, they're gonna tell you Danhausen was out giving out ice cream today. That's why he couldn't do the night one match because did you see that freaky ass truck that he's driving?
I did not.
Oh man, you got to see it's nightmare fuel. You got to see it. It's a bus, but it's got Danhausen's face on the front of it. With the bumper in the windshield.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's nightmare fuel. Oh, it's scary.
But I think Dominic wins, and when he opens up the case, it's that WWE shop human monies that they're selling, and I think I'm like, oh, yeah.
I just don't
fake money.
Yeah, that's why they did the poll because I think you talked about it earlier. They do not want the visual of Dom being pinned by Danhausen.
Yeah,
they don't want that visual.
Yeah. But we'll be breaking night number 2 tomorrow night. We want to thank everyone here that joined us an hour and a half. We got 300 plus watching us. Thank you so much. We appreciate everyone that joined us for the recap show with me and Haas. Maybe tomorrow night Chris will join us. He couldn't not join us for the recap, but that's fine. Me and Haas will always break it down and always give you our fair, honest opinion. We'd be honest. We were brutally honest. We told you what we did like. I told you what I didn't like. Haas told you what he didn't like. We weren't uber offensive and negative with any of the stuff that we didn't that we disagreed or agreed on and liked or didn't like. And I hope you guys enjoyed our recap, our reviews. Please hit like, share, subscribe on all the different platforms that you can. Give us some feedbacks. Give us in the comments. Let us know what you like, what your thoughts on night 1 of SummerSlam, and we'll be back on night 2. Now we know that they're gonna probably finish before 10. We'll start as soon as it really, a little earlier. Especially on a Sunday night, you got to get to work on all that. So this is the Sports Jedi Media Network. Thank you for everyone that's watching with us, and we want to say buenas noches. Have a good night. Remember, I always tell this on the weekends. If you're going to consume any adult beverages, alcohol, please get an Uber. Don't get behind the wheel, inebriated or be a buzz or tipsy. Get an Uber, get a designated driver, arrive alive, because we want you to join us on the watch-alongs or our live streams, recaps, or no better yet, we want you to be alive for your family and your friends. And also be aware of your surroundings. We're in a dangerous world. Even if you're going out to have a good time, be aware of your surroundings, the exits and so forth. We want to make sure you are okay and everybody's fine. So with that said, man, have a blessed night, and we'll see you tomorrow here on the network.
It's still real to me, damn it. I mean, thank you.
Take it easy, man.
Thank y'all, guys. You're awesome.